Why is Alabama and Clemson for the 4th straight year in the playoff good for college football?
Well, I don't know. You know, we're concerned about what's good for our team. I'm sure Dabo's concerned about what's good for his players and his team. So, you know, we both have a lot of good players and been very fortunate to help those players play well enough to have an opportunity to play for a championship.
You know their personnel extremely well, but now Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. What changes about preparation for them with Trevor at quarterback now?
Well, I think they're much more balanced offensively. They certainly can run the ball effectively, and they've done that all year long. But his ability to make throws, make explosive plays down the field with some of the very good, talented receivers that they have, has created a different set of circumstances. Last year, they were a little bit more quarterback run-oriented. So this year, they are making a lot of explosive plays in the passing game, and he's done a really good job of executing that for them.
Each of the previous 3 meetings against Clemson sort of had its own unique identity. What do you see as the common thread in the last 3 times you've played the Tigers?
Well, we're certainly looking forward to this game. They're a little different team. We're a little different team. So I'm sure that both teams have issues that we have to try to get resolved to be able to match up and play in this game. And I think the common thread probably has been they've had a lot of really, really good players. We've had a lot of really good players. It's been, a really great football game every time that we've played. Very physical, very tough. Both teams, playing, their heart out to try to have success in the game. And I think this game will be very similar to that in a lot of ways.
And one of those guys that has provided that and provided pass rush for you, Christian Miller, hurt a hamstring in the semifinal game against Oklahoma. What can you tell us about his availability and what you expect from him on Monday?
Well, I think it's questionable at this point as to whether he's going to be able to recover quickly enough to be able to contribute in the game, but we'll just have to sort of take it day to day and see how he responds.
Well, Nick, thank you for spending some time with us. Happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing you up in Santa Clara.
Well, Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all the folks out there. Thank you so much.
All right, Nick Saban joining us for live from Tuscaloosa. Alabama and Clemson will play for the national championship game. Look at these numbers here. Top 4 in offensive efficiency, top 2 in defensive efficiency in this road to the championship, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That point per game differential, that is significant because the last time we had a championship game where 2 teams are that much better than the average team, like according to the FBI, was Texas USC on this stadium back in 2005. That's the level of game that we're talking about with Alabama and Clemson playing for the national championship.
I mean, it's 2 best teams all year long. We expected this, and here we are now. They're about to match up in one of the biggest monster championship games we'll see. I think when you look at Alabama, when I watched them against Oklahoma, to me, Alabama just plays with a different mentality. I mean, just a different physicality. Josh Jacobs is a running back. I mean, I was standing on the sideline. I think you might have been next to me when he came and he caught that little flare out to the left, and he looked up number 20 for Oklahoma, the safety, and he just zeroed in on him like, I'm about to just run through you. And he came with such a physicality, and that's the way they play. When you watch Alabama warm up, you can tell this is strictly a business trip. We're not happy to be here. We're just going to take care of our business and move on. And I think they get that from their head coaches, so they play with a different mentality, a physical mentality, Coach.
I think this title game will be won by 3 things. Number 1, it's obvious. Which team pressures their quarterback the most? Because there's great quarterbacks. But this is very important. The team that plays a great red zone defense will win the game because they'll force field goals and not touchdowns. And last thing, eliminate long plays, offense, defense, and special teams. It's going to be a great football game.
No doubt. I think the explosives are a huge factor in this football game for both teams because I think there's some vulnerabilities on the back end of the defenses. And I think which quarterback is able to have time to be able to execute and make plays. This is a very, very different Clemson team than the team that Alabama faced last year when they faced them in the semifinals, not just because of the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, but because of the wide receiver play. They are a better group, and Alabama plays a lot of man-to-man. They better hold up on islands because T. Higgins, Amari Rodgers, Hunter Renfrow, these guys can win. And if the quarterback has time to throw, he could throw for some yards against this Alabama secondary.
Well, that's why I asked about Christian Miller, because Alabama, the one thing you would say right now is that Alabama doesn't necessarily have that or have many of those quick twitch pass rushing guys. A couple guys hurt, and now Miller's banged up a little bit.
We talked a lot there about Clemson's quarterback, but of course Tua and his wide receivers too. I mean, there's a chance that this could be a little bit more offensive game than people maybe expect.
That's why I think the red zone defense is so important. They're going to move the ball all the time, both teams.
Squeeze them down inside the red zone.
Bear, you got a lean on that yet? On the championship game, Bear?
I picked Clemson the day of the selection show. I think I might be sticking to that right now. We'll see, though. Well, a lot of weeks to be played. I think the number's like 6 right now. But you look, the 2 games that were big numbers as your title games. Clemson covered the first one, easily could have won the second one in the title game is a big dog. And last year, it just couldn't get anything going offensively. I think it might be different this year.